Angelo, Commissioner here at MCB. I appreciate you all for joining us. And thank you for joining our very first online White Cane Awareness event. We're typically together in person inside the Great Hall at the State House, but we're grateful to be with you here in this virtual environment as it provides us with the opportunity to stay connected with you all today. MCB has been providing our services virtually, much like this, since March due to COVID-19. Our team is able to reach and teach our consumers across the Commonwealth, and we have adapted and problem solved through these challenging times. Many thanks to all of our consumers for being so flexible. Our orientation and mobility team has played a vital role in that effort, providing O&M instruction over the phone and computer, Zoom, really whatever meetings the consumers want, while also ensuring the safe delivery and drop-off of O&M tools such as the White Cane. They recently began providing in-person services on an emergency case-by-case basis that corresponds with all of the state guidance for social distancing and personal protective equipment. If you're a consumer and you want O&M services, please contact your counselor to see if you're eligible. The White Cane is such a powerful tool that gives people who are blind and visually impaired the freedom to move safely and independently throughout our Commonwealth. At MCB, we celebrate the White Cane, not just today, but every day, along with celebrating the strength, resilience, and perseverance of people like you and our consumers that we're so grateful to serve. We've got a great lineup for you today that will begin with the director of our Orientation Mobility Unit, Meg Robertson, and members of the MCB O&M team. Meg has been organizing this White Cane celebration for years. Matter of fact, I think it's 12 years she's been doing it for us. And we're very grateful for her many years of service and dedication. So originally, Meg, I think you thought that was going to go to you, but we're going to go to the O&M unit's own Cynthia Geis for a little bit more. Cynthia?
Hi, this is Cynthia. I am happy to have the honor to introduce a young woman I met when she requested orientation and mobility instruction in Boston. Although Chantale Zuzi was then oriented to South Station and learned how to use her long cane to take buses and trains and shuttles to various parts of Boston and Cambridge, I soon realized she had more to teach me than the other way around. Her journey began when she and her siblings trekked for 3 days from the Congo to Uganda, where they found a refugee camp with thousands of people. At the young age of 14, she became a strong advocate for people with albinism. After reaching out to the United Nations Human Rights Commission, the government condemned her for her actions, and she no longer felt safe at the camp. She traded her camera for transportation and left her family to travel to Kenya, where she connected with the UN and an organization called Refugee, which helps young refugee girls in East Africa. After living there for 2 years, she came to Worcester, where she is excelling as a senior at Worcester High School. Her brothers and sisters have finally been able to join her in Massachusetts. This month, the United Way has acknowledged her continued mentoring with young women in Kenya. She has received an award for being an emerging young leader who is making a difference in the world. Her perseverance and resilience through many of life's challenges is an inspiration to all of us who have met her. Without further ado, I'd like to present Ms. Chantale Zuzi.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. I am honored to have the opportunity to share my story with you all. The direction of my life's purpose was determined by the earliest events of my life. At my birth, I was denied basic human rights. I was born an albino, and in my community, an albino are viewed as outcasts. only my parents believed that I had the right to live. I consider my parents as my heroes. I grew up in a family of 10 children, 5 girls and 5 boys. I was the sixth born and the first albino. Growing up was a challenge, with no accommodation for students with limited vision. All I could do was listen and borrow notes from others. My brothers helped me with my notes at home so that I wouldn't get punished for not having notes. I told my mother that I did not see the prospect of going to school, but she reminded me how lucky I was. After all, she did not have such an opportunity because she was married at the age of 14. With my mother's love and words in my heart, I realized my good fortune and built a determination to work hard. My success boosted my confidence. Despite my disadvantage, I still felt I was winning. My parents made this incredible, brave decision and decided to tell me that I could see. And most significantly, they gave me the ability to believe that I could. My vision limitation has not stopped me from learning. I was getting good grades and completed my primary school. This situation has raised my confidence to believe that there is no limitation. All it takes is to believe in yourself. The lack of accessibility have affected me, but I was the winner. While time passed, I obtained that I was not different from my peers, although I had to do things creatively. I was using further inventive to find ways to learn by using my hearing and not my vision. When both my parents passed away at 13 years old, I had to become a mother for my siblings, learn early in life to accept responsibility. To save my life, I was forced to run away from my country, the Republic Democratic of Congo, to a refugee camp in Uganda. In the camp, I never felt safe, and it was not easy to obtain even the necessity needed to survive. I learned to never take anything for granted. As I arrived in the US in Worcester, I was excited to start a new life. Well, my foster parents took me to the hospital to see an eye specialist before starting school. So this was an exciting day. This is when I find out that I am and have been since birth legally blind. Do you know how it felt knowing that at 17 years old? I got involved with MCB, the Massachusetts Commission for the Blind. For the first time, I met with my caseworker, Billy O'Neill. My first impression or reaction was, "You are not gonna tell me to use a cane." And so he told me, "No, I'm not." This was because I felt ashamed to use a cane. I felt like I'm gonna look different from my peers. But despite that, I still was different because I was tripping over things and running in the middle of a traffic. And one day I find myself in the middle of 2 cars, and what the drivers used to say were like, were you seeing us coming? And I just go, I say sorry. I realized that despite having a cane, I'm still different. So I was trying hard to be who I was not. But when I accepted that I couldn't see, my life has changed. I was believing in the wrong thing because I was not believing in me and all the bits of me. You know how we try hard to pretend to be somebody we are not? Since I started using my cane, I was now a different person. I learned how to work independently, how to travel independently. My school provided me with a mobility instructor who is Jane Rosen. She is amazing and she has changed my life. And all the instructors out there, you are all amazing. And I consider her as my hero for saving me. And because without learning how to use my cane, I could have run into an accident or anything bad could have happened to me. But now that I am able to travel independently and have that confidence, I believe that every single young person who have a disability or visually impairment, they have to be proud of who they are and not who people want them to be. The cold of the world has touched my heart, but I consider myself a resilient and a survivor. The challenges I have faced have led me to a deep desire to become involved with human rights and advocacy, helping others to a better future like the one awaits me. I'm so grateful to the Massachusetts Commission for the Blind and to you all being here today. And thank you so much for listening to me and giving me the opportunity to share my story with the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantale. That was really great. I met Chantale, this is Meg again. I met Chantale last year at the White Cane Day with her orientation mobility specialist, Jane Rosen. And Jane said, you got to watch out for this girl. She's going to take over the world. And I think we would all agree. Unfortunately, you can't hear us clap, but I think everybody would agree. Wow. That was fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We really, really appreciate it.